It's the penultimate round of the Volkswagen Challenge, which means we are at Midvaal Raceway. It's going to be close and extremely tight the whole way through the day. All of this VW Challenge racing action proudly brought to you by Comsol and their associate sponsors. So this is where we are, and this is where the track is gonna really be a deciding factor. It's an incredibly hard track to get your head around, but in qualifying, Class A, as he's done so many times on the season, James Hurley puts one ahead of Atkinson and Stevenson. In the Class Bs, all about Darren Nathan. He pulls one back on Lyle Ramsey. Govan Dasami gets bounced back to third place this time around. And when you look at the Class Cs, it is all about Jacques Smith. He's come on good at the end of the season. Gets ahead of Van Zyl and Kraus.
How close is it? 0.02 of a second between you and Hurley. It's going to be an extremely, very good dice at the front.
I hope so. I mean, our cars are good. Thanks to the Hub team for rebuilding the car for me after a little accident before Kyalami. But it's very, very close. There's nothing in it.
Okay, but it's crunch time. Unfortunately, you've had an up and down season. Not a great outing at Kyalami. But end of the season, it's now time to sort things out, especially at a track that's been very good to you in the past.
100%. Look, like you said, it's crunch time. We've had a very rough sort of mid-season. I started off very well. Unfortunately, had 2 DNFs, and that's probably cost me the championship. But don't for one minute think I'm going to give up. I'm coming as strong as I can.
When you're in a competitive class like you are, 0.02 of a second is nothing.
For sure, Greg. Yes, it's close, and I think it's going to be really difficult, especially with the weather conditions, and everybody else is really, really quick. So there's really nothing in it. It's going to be a tough first race.
On the line then, picking up with the Class A's, an incredible drop off the line for Hurley. He's going to get the legs on Atkinson, and he's going to lead and try and stretch things out straight away. An incredibly good field of Class A's. It's been building the whole way through the year, Greg.
It certainly has, and we go on board here with Louis Robertson, a new man to the front end of the field, as we see a little bit of sideways action coming out of some of the cars in front. And just behind him, also picking up on a new man, Brett Garland, stepping out of Super Hatch and coming to Comsol Challenge for the very first time.
Going to be nice and fun, nice and busy. You can already see stretching things out. B's have already gone, so this is the C guys dropping the hammer off the line.
And the girls, as Bat Lady goes up on the inside and slots into second place. What a start there from Alka. She was down in about 6th place, if I'm not mistaken, in the qualifying. Didn't have a great one. The Batman goes through just on Sean Kraus. The incredible Golf there just behind the incredible Polo of Wayne Kraus, just ahead there of Henry van Vletter. So a good start there for them. Here's the B's down into the bottom of the straight. And as always, Ramsey and Nathan going at it.
Yeah, first time onto the big anchors, and that's always a worry. You don't quite know if things are going to hook up, but they do. Everything's holding together quite nicely, and they're through the motocross section. So the Class B's, not to take anything away from the other categories, but Class B will stay extremely close today, and it's going to give us a cracker of a race.
Well, remember, the championship is still up for grabs. There we heard it from Darren Nathan in his interview. He's got to do everything right. He's put it on pole. He's got to take 2 victories, and Ramsey's got to have some issues. Right now, Ramsey's only issue is trying to get to the front end. Oh, a little touch from the incredible Polo on the Batmobile,
and a second one.
Gone.
Yeah, it's all it takes. Send that car to the side, give it one more little love tap, and out you go.
So the incredible Polo now, as we go on board here with Wayne Kraus, is fighting with the Bat Lady, looking for a way through the X35 energy machine, going really well here, and has got better and better throughout the season. Back to the front end of Class B, and this looks like a lead change as Ramsey goes on the inside, and he's through. He gets up the inside of Nathan, they're side by side, and hopefully he'll be able to just squeeze him out.
This is a good bit of history we're starting to see build up here. Ramsey has come on so strong since he stepped up out of the Class D's only last year. Class B and running right at the front and not backing down. Look at that, Nathan squeezing him all the way to the curb. He literally didn't want to back down, he just had to.
Yeah, a lovely bit of driving there from the two of them. Enough little space to play there. But in the background, keep an eye out because the Goldwagen car is right there waiting for something to go wrong. That's Henning. Haven't spoken much about him, but he certainly is in the mix here. And you can see he's a little bit closer, and so is Tyrell.
Yeah, Tyrell Govan Dasami, remember, he qualified in the 3 spots, so he's been beaten up a little bit badly in the opening laps. But this little in-house battle here, as we go on the board with Nathan, he runs 2nd place at the moment. But I think Henning is definitely going to be the fly in the ointment, and he does tend to do this. He'll just lurk, hang around at the back, and then he'll come charging through with about 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he'll pounce when something goes wrong between the front 2 cars, and right now nothing going wrong at all. Ramsey is doing it all right. He wants to try and take this championship by the end of the day's racing, so he can head into the final round and possibly step up into Class A. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to happen, because right now Nathan is trying hard to stop that from happening.
It's Brad Hall who's just off the back wheel of this top 4 as they have broken away. but they are going to stay close. When you look at their qualifying times and their open practice times, these guys are running not within the same half second, but within the same 0.2. So expect to see incredible things the whole way through the day.
It's awesome to see this. A little bit of wideness there from Van Zyl, not quite where he wants to be. Kraus still in the mix, but lost a little bit of ground to the Bat Lady, and the Bat Lady's gone hunting. Jacques Smith doing it all right in the ELB polo here at the front. Remember, he's got to try and stay at the front end to stay in the front of this championship. The Class C's, I don't think will be wrapped up here today unless something dramatic goes wrong.
Yeah, there's gaps blowing out the whole way through. You can see a couple of the guys aren't coming to terms with it. Van Zyl is really battling to figure things out in the old Golf 1, but the rest of the guys are smooth and running out front. This is Hurley coming into lap traffic. This is where Midvaal gets extremely treacherous.
Yeah, on the inside of Graham Savage, also a new man to the series, good to have him up there, but Hurley has got it to perfection here. Opened a little bit of a margin. I want to say a little one because if you look in the background, the Comsol car's not too far back, and I can tell you that Rory Atkinson will want to give him a little bit more of a closer run than what he's doing right now. Remember, Class A is wrapped up. It's overall championship points that these guys are now fighting for, and Atkinson is still within the running for that overall.
And he's had such a good year, and he needed it as well. It's been about 3 seasons since we've seen the class of driving come out of Rory Atkinson that he is capable of delivering. He's just had a good year. He just needs to get a little bit better, and he will be unstoppable.
Good Derek Smallberger putting the pressure onto the back end of Stevenson. The boss man of Comsol is certainly feeling the pressure coming from Herbie. Herbie all over the back of that polo, looking for a way through. Hasn't quite found it just yet, but he's certainly looking for a chance or a chink in the armor there from Stevenson.
Class B's and third place is now up for grabs. Tyrell has had enough of this, and he wants to come on through.
We spoke about guys having good seasons. He's had a fantastic season. Has slowly but surely got better and better, and since he's been in the polo, really has got to grips with the series. And it's great to see him coming through so nicely. Look and watch and see there's a possibility onto that back straight. He seems to have a little bit of a better handling car than Henning does right now.
And what we're going to see now, just to jump in there, Greg, is the fact that we've been building up the Henning charge. It's not going to happen now because he's looking backwards.
Yes, he's on the defense, that's for sure. Speaking of going on the defense, incoming, Haupt Racing sneaks up and takes the lead for the first time.
And showed that wheel early as well. Hurley definitely had to come out and go much later on his braking marker because the inside line and deep position was held by Atkinson. And Atkinson now is going to go defensive.
Do you check out the change-up in the line there from Hurley? He realized that he'd lost the ground, and now he tries to get the drive coming out of his second last corner.
Incredible thing going on there, actually. He ramped diagonal across the big bump that we always talk about, and I have never seen his car lift off the ground. Normally that thing is magnetized to the track.
Yeah, glued to it for sure. As they come down now onto the braking marks for turn 1, we go a little bit further back. Garland having a little bit of a dice here. He's stuck in amongst some lap traffic. That, of course, is the Batman, but he's under pressure from the other new man, Louis Robertson. Great to see these two new guys fighting it out. That is Nobre's old car. Oh, and a problem there. Is that Stevenson? Yes, it is.
Oh, I thought that was actually our race leader overall. It's terrible news for Stevenson, the big man out of Comsol, pushing the car a little bit too hard, and she has cried no more.
Just pulls it onto the sideline. Good driving there for him to get off the racing line as quickly as possible, just in case any fluids are coming out of the car. Speaking of fluids, the most fluid driver out there right now is Tyrell Govinasamy, and giving Henning a very good run for his money. Karen Henning in a polo is one of the best front-wheel drive drivers in this country, and Tyrell is all over him.
Yeah, you'd have to look into nationals and go shopping for Lee Thompson to see that comparison. Those guys can save absolutely any situation. We are coming to the closing stages, and it's going to be very hard for any of these guys to make any passes count now. At this temperature, it's all about Midvaal just turning to slime. It gets extremely greasy late in the race.
Let's get Piazza Musso racing there. That's Brad Hall all over the back end of Piet Potgieter, and Potgieter fighting hard with Gossman.
I've got to say,
a fantastic little battle here.
It is a cracker, and I actually saw something just out the corner of my eye as we swept through turn number 1. Francois Van Zyl parked up on the sideline.
Yeah, big pity for him. That looks like Class C basically out of his running. He's not going to be able to catch Elke van Vleuten or Jacques Smith. They're fighting for honours. Speaking for honours, overall on the day in race number 1, also honours up for grabs in the overall championship between these two. And there's no love lost at all. A little tap.
No, Hurley's mid-corner is just insanely fast. Between this flip over left to right, he is so much quicker. But the inside line on the last turn will be held by Atkinson.
Drag race to the line now. They're going to come across the line, and still a couple of laps to go. But what an awesome dice that's now started at the front end of Class A. Atkinson goes defensive, trying to keep Hurley out. Hurley as you said, Matt, carrying massive corner speed, just had nowhere to go.
No, I think his car is just so much more plotted, but he has shown a couple of lines up the inside. What he's going to have to do, though, if it comes to that late in the race, if it comes to the big horseshoe turnaround, the massive right-hander, he's going to have to go in deep and run Atkinson all the way out to the dirty stuff.
Yeah, and try and stay on that inside line for the drag to the checkered flag. But maybe he can get him under the slipstream effect down this back straightaway. They're coming up onto the Class C's, and I think the Class C's might just survive. But there's an opportunity for an overtaking down into this corner. This is turn 5, and he has got it done and dusted. Hurley's on the inside, and he retakes the lead.
Okay, let's see what Atkinson has got, because when you're forced out to that line as a driver, you do have the option to run a much tighter cutback, which is going to deliver you to this corner in a much hotter state. But if there's a car in front of you and the line is blocked, you can do nothing with it. That's exactly what happened to Hurley. You can see much more corner speed carried by Atkinson, but if the line is blocked, you can do nothing about it.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to have no answer coming to the checkered flag as they come out of the final turn now. Atkinson is going to try and drag him to the line, but Hurley has got such good corner speed. There's the flag waiting. The Class C's will have to do one more lap, but the Class A's are done, and the victory goes to Hurley. Atkinson in second.
Well, that's what we said about this penultimate round. A great place to have it to really build the tension. Midvaal delivers because it keeps everyone nice and tight, just like this.
Certainly does, but this is what it's all about. This is third place in the Class Bs, and Henning is fighting off Tyrell Governasamy. First and second is pretty much done and dusted. Lyle Ramsey is going to hang on for first, exactly what he needed to do. That's going to take some more points away from Darren Nathan, even though Nathan returned the favor on him by getting pole and taking a point away from Ramsey. This is how it's going to change up for the rest of the day.
Yeah, but look at that gap as well. That wasn't just traffic. That was the fact that Ramsey's times did not fall off. It was Nathan that had the problem.
No problems here for Jacques Smith, although he was pressurized in the late stages, but I think he's rolled off ever so slightly in the ELB Polo to beat the Bat Lady to the line. Elke van Vliet is still fighting hard to try and retain her Class C championship, but unfortunately I don't think she's going to have enough as Jacques Smith takes another victory ahead of her, and then Wayne Krause in the Incredible Polo.
Smith has got such a good setup on that car. Let's look at the results from race number 1. Class A, Hurley by a hair ahead of Atkinson. Smallbaker came through at the end, and Garland, great debut in 4th place. In the Bs, all about Lyle Ramsey with a massive victory over Nathan. Henning held on ahead of Governasamy. And then in the C's, we just took them across the line. Jacques Smith about half a second ahead of Van Vletter. Wayne Krause came through with a solid 3rd ahead of Sean Krause.
We're giving him a little bit of a tease there, huh? Just to give him a bit of a taste of what it's like at the front.
No, it was actually pretty difficult. It was nice to have a good race again. It's really nice that they managed to repair the car and build it. And it should be a great race, second race.
Championship is basically looking like it's got one hand on it right now, but let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, look, the overall is still to compete for, but the class I've wrapped up. So we're just fingers crossed for the overall now.
It was all about understeer right at the end, there's no doubt about it. You could see you were closing, but just not enough laps, eh?
Yeah, needed another 2 laps, maybe 2 laps, yeah, maybe 2 laps would have done it, yeah. But what an awesome race, sure.
Got another race to catch him though. Hopefully get a better start, because he got a lightning start.
Yes, I also got a good start. I went from 4th to 2nd, I think, so yeah. Hope for race 2 that goes down well. Let's see.
Stay with us after the break for Heat 2 racing action from the penultimate round of the Comsol VW Challenge. Welcome back to the Midvaal Raceway. It's the penultimate round of the VW Comsol Challenge. We have seen some cracking racing already here. This circuit always delivers. But what it always delivers on race 2 is a little bit of cloud. On the line, oh, massive jump start from Hurley. That's going to cost him a ton. That means that Atkinson is on for an overall for the day.
Yeah, if he can keep it all right. Remember, he's going to probably get about a 30-second penalty for that jump start. Round the outside goes Garland. In the background, Gavin Ross fighting it out with Robertson as they go into turn 2 now. Here's the Bs. It's all up to Nathan now. He's got to do it all right. He's got to get ahead of Ramsey to stay in this championship.
Did you see Governasamy? Governasamy has got a real good chance of getting the legs up the inside. He's got to be super brave on the brakes to try and handle it, but he's not going to be able to do it. He's going to get boxed out back to the C's.
Back to C's, and the Bat Lady looks like she's out-dragged Jacques Smith to turn 1, or is Smith going to come back on the brakes? Looks like he's got the line for turn 1. Can he hang on? Maybe just do a late braking, get through. He's done it. That's all he needed to do. Get ahead of Elke van Vletter, and looks like Kraus wants to go with. So the two X35 men fighting it out here for third and fourth. Oh, it's good to see such good action so early on.
Such a good move for Jacques Smith to get himself up there, and massive late on the brakes there. This is the huge fight back. Stevenson, remember, he had to retire about the halfway marker of race number 1. He is on a massive fight back now.
Now, it looks like the Haupt boys have got that car sorted out again, and he goes into this turn with Herbie on his tail like he had all of race number 1, but he's a little bit closer to Atkinson this time. He doesn't want to lose that ground. He wants to try and stay with Rory and help him out, because this championship overall is not done yet.
And it's B's on the brakes. BBB the whole way through. Henning and Govardasamy. We're just going to be talking about this the whole way through. So it looked like the chance of a whole shot going to Govardasamy. He's up the road by 2 in the blue and white machine. He's got boxed all the way back to 3rd place, and that all happened in the first 2 turns.
Because Ramsey had to do that. If Ramsey stays where he is right now, there's a possibility he can wrap this up. Nathan has to get through on him to keep the championship alive for the final round, and he's trying hard. You can see here from Brad Hall's point of view just how difficult it is to try and make an overtaking maneuver when the cars are so evenly matched.
A good run from Hall as well. He got kind of left out to dry in the first race. He's got a much better number happening this time around. Here's another driver on the fight back. Remember Van Sale, he had to park it and watch all the rest of the guys racing. He's back in it.
That's good to see that. And yeah, as we come up into the close of that lap, Class C's now fighting hard for honours at the front end. Jacques Smith, Van Vletter and Kraus losing a little bit of ground there to Sean Kraus, and on his tail the Batman is back in it as well.
Top 2 checking out, massive smoke out, and I think that was Stevenson. There was either a lockup or the engine letting go one more time. We'll have to wait for the next couple of shots to see if we have 2 of those Comsol cars in the mix.
Still there, just a big lockup on the brakes, and whoa, in the background Robertson goes a little bit wide, and he has to come back just ahead of Gavin Ross, but he's sideways again, and oh, he's got it completely wrong.
And that's just dirty tires. He had, oh, I think he took Ross with him.
I think there's something on the circuit back. There's a good possibility that we're going to see a change of surface flag there, because there was a big lock up there, then he got it all wrong, and right behind him Ross went off as well.
Oh, there is a lot of dirt happening on the circuit. There's way too many lockups happening down here for my liking, but it's a little bit later in the lap where there's the massive problem.
Let's have a look and see.
Everyone's definitely slowed the pace.
Let's have a look and see if it was Robertson's car that probably called it. Now we're on board here as we go in and pitch it in. Oh, and look at Gossman. He's had to go on the inside. I think he's seen what the problem is, and Rogers has gone off.
Yeah.
Connor Rogers in the... Oh, and there's another... I think there's some surface damage there.
It's that big left-hander, basically where the big bump is, and that's where someone's car has... sounds like, or looks like, has dropped its entire engine because everyone's all over the place.
Yeah, let go some kind of fluid out there, that's for sure. Let's wait and see what the COC is going to have to say about that. Oh,
just too many people spinning
Robertson's trying to get back. That's the Batman on the inside of the circuit. Robertson gets back on track. I'm not quite sure whose car it was. I did mention earlier that it might have been Robertson's, but I don't think so, because he was one of the first winners, and Kraus has got it sideways too. So someone's still on track. Yeah, he's dropping something.
Whichever car dropped it, 3 turns before the finish, has dropped a ton on the last turn as well. This is definitely a red flag situation. There's no way we can keep racing like this.
Well, Simon Levine's gone wide, so has the Bat Lady. She's lost massive amounts of ground. Change of surface flag eventually comes out there on the last turn, and red flag comes out too.
Oof, that kind of felt good. Sean Kraus just peeling himself off the rubber. He got spat the wrong way.
You can see he's not happy about that situation either. I think there's a couple of guys that are going to be working hard here, including the Kyle Army Marshals who here at Midvaal helping out and making sure that all the oil that was dropped right around the circuit. The restart this time, Hurley doesn't get away with the jump start, and of course it nullifies the original jump start he got in the first one, and it's only a 6-lap sprint race now, so he's got it all to do.
Lucky, lucky, lucky.
Harry Potter strikes again with the magic.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race this time around though. 6 laps, which means there's no time for anyone to stretch anything out. It's going to be ugly racing.
Tyrell Govardasamy with a much better start, and this time learns from his mistake, or does he? Tries to keep Ramsey out. Ramsey has just got incredible pace around the outside, but eventually has to give up something. Yes, indeed.
I think if
Tyrell leads.
If that dirty line wasn't there, Ramsey would have been able to stay in it and carry more speed, and you can literally block pass back to the seas. And I'm just so impressed with Smith this year. Incredible driving. He's got the full package. He's got a good setup on the car. He gets the drop off the line, and he can maintain good laps the whole way through.
He didn't quite get the drop there because it was Van Vletter, but he got the whole shot, so spot on in terms of picking that up. Van Vletter had the drop of the line, and Jacques Smith capitalized into turn 1 and took the whole shot.
Okay,
so did Rory Atkinson.
Watch this, because we're heading into the part where there is so much dirt on the circuit. Watch out for the different lines. No one is going to want to pitch it in early.
And of course they haven't had a warm-up lap, so this is their warm-up lap basically ready to rock and roll here. So they're going to have to go out at hammer and tongs right into the mess. doesn't seem to be affecting any of the cars, so the marshals have done an amazing job to sort this circuit out.
Check out Hurley. He's being clever. He's trying to sweep around the outside and just sweep across. A very quick move. Try and stay on the dirty stuff for as short a time as possible.
One thing to pick up on, Matt, down in Class Bs is Nathan is in 3rd place. We're a bit further back here with Dane Stewart, but as they pitch it on the right-hand side, you'll just pick up on that orange car. 3rd place is not good enough for him to take Class Bs. And if we see Lyle Ramsey winning this out, Class B Championship will be headed his way.
Yeah, Tyrell Govindasamy, he's doing an incredible race. But that is the last man that Nathan needs to see up the road, because Tyrell ain't easy to pass.
No, he's not, and he's going to make it difficult because he's also looking for some overalls here, and also to just finish the season on a high, because that just bodes well for 2015 and next season, where he'll probably be fighting for honours in this championship.
Kraus just charging hard. Took a long time to come to terms with that polo, but he is going to be burying it this time around. He had an incredible clean lap in qualifying, set up his entire day, and he's running with the front 3 now.
Just love the fact that he's so smooth inside the car. There's no worrying whatsoever.
Oh,
and as I say that, there's a bit of a late braking maneuver.
That was Smith. Smith, the back end was hanging all over the place. He made a hash of turn number 1, but he got away with it because Van Vletter had to come out of it herself.
Yeah, I think the two of them hitting that dirty stuff, which is costing... Oh, there's a very similar move to what we saw last time. This time he manages to get the nose up on the inside, and yes, Atkinson gets forced wide, and we might see a change-up. Can we drive around the outside? Yes, he can.
This is that corner speed we were talking about with Hurley. He is able to position his car, plant the outside wheel, very karting style. Incredible because he didn't come from karting, but he knows exactly how to rail the turns. And more importantly than anything else, he is finding clean bits of the circuit, therefore finding more traction than anyone else.
And making it stick absolutely brilliantly. Back to the front end of Class Bs. No changes in the top 3, but check out in the background as Hall and Gossman go again. Gossman runs wide onto the grass and follows. Oh, look at that. Can you believe that action as they go through their 2 cars abreast? It was all about watching the car in front of you. Andy Gossman unfortunately got caught out there and is now at the back of Class B.
I'm trying to pick up on who that is. I think that might be Andre Needham that's pulling to the sideline. So Andre Needham not only outbraking himself, but looks like he's going to be parking it as well. So he's had a massive problem.
Problem there for Needham, and he's, yes, confirmation, parked on the sideline as the C's go through. Kraus looking for a way through on the Bat Lady, but Alka is keeping him very, very honest right now and looking to close in on Jacques Smith. Staying where she is right now will not give Smith the championship. He will have to fight it out at the last round.
Track is cleaning up. There's Nathan, and there is a very important move as far as the championship goes. Nathan has to run and try and bridge that gap, but Tyrell is on the line, and he will be able to fight this one back. Watch this. He's on the dirty stuff, but he's going to be able to block it out. So all that hard work for Nathan, he's going to try rail outside to become inside. No, he has to roll it back.
Oh, he's got his nose up the inside there, so Tyrell's giving him a little bit of room. Tyrell will run wide here, and he'll just try and keep that inside line coming into the final turn. Nathan's going to have to rail around the outside. Has he got the same kind of handling available? He should have. Yes, he does.
I heard him have a little bit of a double clutch there, so he's trying to get a little bit of extra drive, and he has made it count. Incredible setup from Nathan. It took him 5 corners to make that one work, but he's now got clean air. But Tyrell's car is so strong today.
He's got clean air, but he's running out of laps. As you can see, we're on 5 of 6. This is the Class C battle for 3rd place, and Kraus all over the Bat Lady, Alka van Vletter. But Darren Nathan, I think, has run out of laps in terms of Class B's championship hunt.
Now, this thing that we are watching here, this battle that's about to unfold, is a situation you and I spoke about 4 years ago, when the first of the polos came in. Midvaal was the first track where Slipstream really came into play, and Kraus has just made it count. The polo slips through a little bit cleaner, and he's made it count.
Yeah, a bit better than that Golf 1, the old box style. Unfortunately, not as smooth through the air as the rounded off polo is. But Alka certainly will not give it up without a fight, and she's right back on Kraus's tail.
Yeah, Kraus is working hard. He ran himself way deep over the little bump there, but he got away with it. He should be able to run out front a little bit longer, and like we say, the polo in clear air without the buffeting runs even faster than when he was in the slipstream. So a solid move from Kraus to get himself up there. We've got to be heading on to the last lap now.
And we're on the last lap here with the Class A's, and Hurley has got enough of a margin over Rory Atkinson. It's not going to be quite enough to wrap up the overall championship. As I said earlier on, he has wrapped up Class A already. So it's maybe one hand on that overall championship. And that will be the first in a long time that a Class A car has taken the overall title.
And the restart really helping out. So the short remake of a race, 6-lap sprint, the jump start penalty thrown away, and Hurley walks away with the big numbers once again.
Now Ramsey has done it all right. He unfortunately didn't get quite everything in terms of a perfect day. The pole went to Nathan, but he's got 2 wins on the day, and that will give Lyle Ramsey Class B Championship for 2014.
Rock and roll. Great to see these kids move on up. We've seen 2 new champions coming out of other categories. That's great.
So Jacques Smith is followed home by the incredible Polo. It's not enough for him yet, with Elke van Vletter still down in 3rd place. Class C still up for grabs, heading into the final round. As they come across the line, the flag goes out. Smith wins the day. A great drive there from Wayne Krause. You can see him punching there in the car, happy with the performance there. And Van Vletter will have to go to the final round to fight it out.
You gotta love Midvaal. Race number 2 then in the Class A's. Hurley confirmation of his win ahead of Atkinson. Smallberger came through for 3rd place. Stevenson, good recovery in 4th. In the B's, Lyle Ramsey. Nathan did well for 2nd place to beat out Governor Dasami and Henning. And in the Class C's, all about Jacques Smith. Winning out ahead of Krause and Van Vletter. Jacobs in 4th.
Very, very lucky out there, James. First start was a bit of a jump. So lucky with the restart, and you can go and do it again.
Yeah, no, luckily it was a whole new race, so we could redo all the mistakes, and we did it perfectly. Yeah. Well, big thanks to everyone that helped me to change the car from the first race. It was much better. So yeah, thanks to everyone.
2 on the day is unfortunately not good enough to take this championship just yet.
Yeah, we'll have to see next round. Darren did very well today. I also did very well for myself. I'm very happy. I'm like to
Man.
Hey, my time. I'd like to thank the Van Linde family. I really appreciate your help. And my dad, I don't say thank you enough, but this is to you. Thank you.
Great day in the saddle double on the day. That's an awesome way to finish up. But you were helped out a little bit by this incredible Polo next to you, because he was giving the Bat Lady a run for her money.
Absolutely. It's so good to see Wayne finally come on strong, you know. He's been practicing, and yeah, it's all come together. But it was still tough work out there. We knew Elke was very fast, and we just had to try and get ahead of her and keep her behind us, you know.
2 championship titles wrapped up at the penultimate round. Hurley winning out the Class A's, Ramsey winning out the Class B's, but the overall still up for grabs going to the final. All of this Comsol Volkswagen Challenge racing action proudly brought to you by Comsol and their associate sponsors. Rapid Motion is proudly driven by the SMD Group.